Hello, fellow Aptera reservation holders. For those of you who are just Aptera curious, if you choose to make a reservation, please consider using my link below to save $30 on your reservation. In this video, I'm going to recap the 5th week of Aptera's Accelerator Program. My numbers are based on the February 3rd, 10 p.m. update. For those who are not familiar with what the Accelerator Program is, Aptera is hoping to raise at least $20 million to help them reach the $50 million they claim will allow them to start large-scale production. If you join the program, you'll be one of the first 2,000 to receive your vehicle and get some special gifts based on your total investment in Aptera. To be part of the program, you have to invest a minimum of $10,000 between January 27th and March 26th. Aptera has once again updated their accelerator page. Now you can see each time someone has invested and how much. Do you think this is too much information? Will it reveal some people's strategies? You can see some people are one and done, but others add each week to rack up their total. The 5th week of the Accelerator Program saw a big boost in the amount of investing and reversed the downward trajectory of the total weekly investments. The Accelerator Program was just over $5 million last week and is currently over $6.28 million now. That is almost a $1.3 million raised in the 1 week, which is the second largest week of the program. That is still $500,000 short of the first week's raise, but I don't expect a large week of investment until the final week of the program. There is no way to tell exactly what prompted this investment, but they had a lot of good news that could have boosted investor confidence. California had approved the $21 million in matching funds for Aptera to pay their vendors. Aptera has been uploading a lot of good development and progress videos, like the fact that they are making the CPC dies to make the production intent bodies. Aptera has also said they're meeting with lots of institutional investors around the world and getting a lot of interest. The banner week has pushed Aptera past 25% of their goals to 31% raised in 5 weeks. That leaves them 69% of their goals left to raise. I guess time will tell if that is a lucky number for them or not. But as you can see from this chart, only 4% of the money raised came from investors that joined this week. The other 2% came from people who added to their prior investments and whose funds have finally been authenticated. This bar graph breaks out the total raised each week and compares it to the number reported by Aptera in the previous week. The orange bar is the previous week, with the green bar representing the current numbers, and the blue bar is the difference. As you can see, about half of the money added this week came from new investors in the 5th week. Week 4 also had a huge gain, but it mainly came from one investor who we'll talk about later when we look at the top 15 in the leaderboards. But it is good to see that the first and second week investors are still adding to their investments. When you plot out the total raised cumulatively, you can see clearly how the fundraising per day has slowed down since the first week. But you can see a clear bump in the last week, and the investments have not stagnated. I still think they will have a pretty successful raise of between 10 to 12 million. If Aptera does not get to 20 million, do you think they should extend the accelerator program? As we will see later, it is unlikely they will get to 2,000 investors. If the line graph did not make it clear how the funding was going, this bar chart of money raised per day should make it a bit clearer. The amount raised per day has continued to decline, but they have had some real big days in the last 2 weeks. 2 of the 7 best days of investments have come in the last 2 weeks, even though 219 is a bit of an anomaly because the vast majority of that was from one investor. But we have to expect that to continue. I imagine there are some large investors waiting until close to the end of the campaign to join in order to not give away their positions on the leaderboard, or are in the process of gathering funds to invest in Aptera. There is not too much to say about the number of investors that join the program on each day. It has tracked pretty well with a total invested as one would imagine, but the numbers seem to have been holding steady since the 3rd week, which is good. February 23rd is still the worst single day with one investor, but it's better than the 0 I reported last week. I expect that number might go up again in subsequent weeks. Another thing that has held pretty constant is the percentage of prior investors versus new investors. We seem to be holding at around 30% after the initial dip in the 2nd week, where we saw a lot of prior investors join the program. However, the portion of the money raised by the new investors has dropped from 35% last week to 33%. It seems that prime investors are more likely to continue to add to their investments as the program continues than new investors. At 5 weeks, they only have 441 investors. It is unlikely that they will hit the 2,000 they were hoping for. If Aptera continued to get an average investment of over 14,000 and got all 2,000 investors, the accelerator program would net Aptera over 28 million, which is more than half of the 50 million they say they need to go to full production. We do have an outlier with week 4 because Aptera received its largest single investment by a large margin on February 19th. So let's talk about the investor leaderboards. This is a list of the top 15 highest investments in the accelerator program. The red names are the new investors since the accelerator program began, and they make up 7 of the top 15 investments. The purple star shows the 6 new people in the top 15. The red arrow and number show the places people fell since last week. As you can see, MB is a new investor and has made the largest investment by a large margin. We have a dead heat for 7 through 9 with 52,500. In the last week, JL added to their investment to leapfrog BJ, but they are still the second largest investor. Will they go for number 1, or will we see another dark horse take the spot next week like MB did this week? The JL and BJ saga for spots in the top 10 has had a drastic change. Last week they were only $500 apart with BJ in the 9th slot. Over the week, JL added 29,400 to put some space between him and BJ, but still dropped from 8th to 9th place as MB, the only new investor in the top 10, took the 5th spot. But it looks like JL plans on staying in the top 10 as they have made 7 investments since the accelerator program started, and if they invest another 30,000, they could take the number 7 spot. BY also made a timely investment, jumping 4 spots to take the 10th spot. If they did not invest more, BY would have been number 16 this week. The other spots to watch are 11 and 13, as they are only separated by about $500. The next spots that could be in danger is number 3. With only $1,560 separating them, I could easily see GT trying to move up. Do you think anyone is out there trying to take the number 1 spot? Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, like and share to help our channel grow. And below you'll find links to our website, Evolv-Electric.org, our Twitter and Instagram,